definitely let me know because it's hard for me to tell if you guys can hear me or not. If you guys, hopefully everybody's here. I know it takes a second for volume and audio to get through on a live stream through YouTube, but hopefully this is working well. Service is okay. Yesterday was the Super Bowl. And for those of you who are not aware, Donald Trump was at the Super Bowl yesterday. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things, but first we're going to talk about the fact that the funniest thing I think I've ever seen in my entire life may have been the look on Taylor Swift's face when everybody booed her. I don't know who watched the Super Bowl last night, but that woman was clearly on the verge of tears because she looked around like she could not believe what was happening because everybody's supposed to love Taylor Swift. She's supposed to be like the golden child or whatever else, but she has now officially been to more Super Bowls than Aaron Rodgers is some weird statistic that's come out. But either way, Taylor Swift there. If you did not watch the Super Bowl last night, it took me 30 minutes to get into watching the Super Bowl because I canceled cable forever ago. There was no way I was going to pay for any of that, right? And so I tried to figure out who had it for free. Well, Tubi, if you guys have ever heard of Tubi, they have free shit like free movies and TV shows and whatever. So I was trying to watch it on Tubi, but my TV is a LG or a Samsung. I think my TV is an LG. And Tubi was like, no, can't play it on here. You can't watch it on here. So we had to watch it on my laptop and just turn the volume all the way up. So we watched the Super Bowl. We got into it probably second quarter because we were trying so hard to figure out how to watch it the first quarter. Nothing was working. And by the time we got in, I told you guys before the game ever occurred, I said the Eagles are going to win. There's two reasons why the Eagles are going to win. One, because Philly needs it because their mayor's an effing moron and doesn't know how to spell Eagles. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that video. I think I have it saved somewhere here to show you because it's absolutely hilarious to me. The mayor doesn't know how to spell Eagles. The fact that the Chiefs have won as often as they have with the refs clearly in their pockets was another one. So when we started watching and Philly already had a touchdown, I said, see, there we go. We already know that's the end of it. And people are like, oh, no, the Chiefs can come back. I said, no, they're not. The Eagles are going to win. And the Eagles won. Like, I think they played well. Jalen Hurts did an amazing job. In the last 5 minutes of the game, Patrick Mahomes threw some passes that were great, but it was too little too late. You can't be in the Super Bowl and get sacked 5 times in like a 5-minute period, which is what happened to Mahomes, like back-to-back 4 of them. And then a couple minutes later, another one. Absolutely ridiculous. As many interceptions as he threw, I swear he decided not to show up to play the game. It was very obvious. What happened is he trolled everybody. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he trolled everybody on the way into the Super Bowl. He wore an Eagles green suit, I think is the right word we're going to go with here, Eagles green suit, which of course I thought I saved the picture, and hello, this is how my life is. I did not save the picture of him in his suit walking into the game, but he wore a blazer, is that what it's called on a guy? Blazer and trousers, I don't know, and a tie, and it was green like the Eagles color, and I think it was supposed to be kind of like a mind F for the Eagles. It did not work out well for him because he played the worst game I have ever seen Mahomes play in my entire life. But what's more important than that is, of course, Donald Trump. I don't even care about the game itself. What I tuned in for were 3 things. Number 1, to see Donald Trump. Number 2, in hopes of seeing Taylor Swift get booed. And number 3, because I was curious if there were really Elon Musk ads or not. There was a lot of talk on X, on TikTok, on YouTube, social media in general. Mainstream media, I think, even mentioned it as well. And I mentioned it to you guys. I said, I heard there was some Elon Musk commercials going out, and people were saying he spent $40 million. I told you yesterday, I was like, I don't know if that's really going to happen or not, if that's just whatever. And there were no Elon Musk commercials. Not a single commercial was done by Elon Musk. I can tell you that much right now, just based off the crappy commercials we had this year. They were all trash. Every single one of them was trash. There was a Pfizer one about cancer or whatever, and I'm like, that's aimed at tugging at your emotions. That one's trash. There was one for flag football and how girls should be able to play flag football, but they aimed that one at making it look like white men who were into sports were just raging egg-holes towards black females who were into sports. That's what it came across as. It came across as a very negative commercial to me. If anybody saw the one for the flag football. I didn't like it at all. There was like a Dorito commercial. None of the commercials were good. The only one that a lot of people said was good was one with Harrison Ford in a Jeep commercial, and it was about, freedom and whatever else. But even that one didn't really do it for me. They all kind of sucked. The halftime show, 50-50 on that. I said I was not going to watch the halftime show, but then I was like, I have to, or else how can we have this conversation for people who did not watch the halftime show? So I watched the halftime show with Kendrick Lamar. We'll talk about that in a second. But the very first thing I want to show you is the fact that when Donald Trump showed up, the first thing he did, because it was in New Orleans, it was at, I think they called it Caesars Stadium, where the New Orleans Saints play. When he showed up, they had the families of the victims from the New Year's Day. I don't know if massacre is the right word. It kind of feels like it, though, because so many people lost their lives on January 1st in New Orleans when that guy drove into the crowd. So he met with the families of those people. And I don't know if there's volume here. I didn't pay attention.
That would be history already in the building.
There's a lot of volume there. We don't really need that. But this is Donald Trump shaking hands, meeting with people out on the field, the families and the kids and whatnot, waving to everybody. Now, before that, he had a interview with Fox. If you guys have seen that, he had an interview with Fox, and there was like a part before it, and there's supposed to be a part after it. But when he was there, let's see. He was there, and I don't have the video of the guy that shook his hand. There's a player from the Chiefs, and I believe it's the same one who was crying during you guys can see here. I can't play the national anthem, but he's singing, this guy here, Bautiste, what's his name? He's singing, and you have the player that was crying, and that's the same player. There's Donald Trump. Look, I want you guys to hear this. I do want you to hear this. Never mind. Because listen. All right, here's the song. Okay.
Broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
You hear the cheers?
For the ramparts we watched.
The cheers for Donald Trump were ridiculous. So the guy that they had sing the whole thing, I still don't remember his name. Something Bautiste, something like that. John Batiste. I couldn't think of it. Or Batiste. I don't know how you say it, but thank you for that. They had him sing, and it's very New Orleans style, the way he did it, like jazzy or whatever else. The best one ever, in my personal opinion, is still Whitney Houston. You will not change my mind on that. She rocked it completely. The two best halftime shows ever were Prince and Michael Jackson. You're not going to change my mind on that. I saw Aerosmith at the Super Bowl when I was, I don't know, but it was in San Diego, and it was the Colts and the Broncos. Does that sound right? I don't remember who it was now, but either way, I got to see them when I was 16 through my mom's job, and it was like one of the coolest things I've ever done. But the halftime show with Michael Jackson and the one with Prince are still the absolute best. But anyway, while this guy is singing, obviously they pan over to Donald Trump, who is saluting, and the crowd went absolutely like bonkers. They lost their minds. You could hear the cheering. And this is why I think people lied about Elon having commercials. Now, I don't know if the person that started the whole thread that unraveled, or the whole snowball, I think that's a better thing, the whole snowball of it that went crazy with Elon and having commercials. I don't know if it was somebody on the left or somebody on the right. If it was somebody on the right, then it was designed hopefully to get people to tune in and see Donald Trump, right? If it was by the left, then to me, it would have been designed to get people to watch the Super Bowl who they thought would not watch the Super Bowl, because Fox wanted to be able to say, look how many people watched our Super Bowl. Look at the numbers of viewers we have on Fox or NFL Plus or wherever else, Tubi or whatever else it was. I think they wanted to jump the numbers up, right? Either way, a lot of people were going to tune in no matter what, because of President Trump, whether it was out of love of country or out of loathe for country and president, right? Either way, nothing brings a crowd like a crowd, I think is how it goes. And so knowing that President Trump was going to be the first sitting president ever to be at the Super Bowl, that's enough for some people to watch. Knowing that Taylor Swift is also going to be there, and those two butt heads like crazy, that was enough for a lot of people. And then seeing Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce and all this other stuff, that was enough for some. Kash Patel was there. Megyn Kelly was there. They called her Dr. Biden was there. Jill Biden was there for the Eagles, unfortunately. I was like, man, we can't be rooting for the same team. I need you to root for somebody different. But she was there with 2 kids, maybe grandkids. I did not see Joe Biden there anywhere, which would have been hilarious to me if he had gone, because he would have gotten even more boos than Taylor Swift. And she got a phenomenal amount of boos. Look, let me get this video up so you guys can hear this, because the look on her face, she was sitting with Ice Spice. A lot of you may not know who that is. She is a female rapper, singer. I don't know what she's supposed to be. She twerks and stuff, whatever. But this is what happened when they showed Taylor Swift on the Jumbotron, I think is what it's called. As soon as it's a big screen, it's a Jumbotron, right? One person was cheering for her. Everybody else was booing. And the look on her face was literally, what is going on? She just assumed everybody would be so happy to see her. But I'm going to put it to you like this. They're booing her because of her little cat video on Instagram, basically crapping all over Donald Trump. Okay, number one. They're booing her because people are so friggin' tired of her and Travis Kelce. We don't give half a shit about their relationship, and yet it's plastered everywhere. Number two. Number three, because of all of the drama that's been going on with her little bestie, what's her face? Ryan Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively, and Justin Baldoni. I have way too many names in my head. The ones from This Is the End, That Ends With Us, whatever that crappy movie is, where there was a ton of talk of sexual harassment and all this other stuff. Well, her and Blake Lively are besties. People are dragging Blake Lively right now. So between all of that, nobody's really a fan of Taylor Swift at this point, and the stadium let her know. You have even Patrick Mahomes and his wife Brittany Mahomes. They are, It Ends With Us. Thank you, Sarah. They are fans of Donald Trump. You have a lot of people on the Eagles who were fans of Donald Trump. So you had more Trump supporters and fans in the 2 teams than a lot of people expected. And then, of course, in the stands and in the stadium, which may also be why a lot of people did not understand why Kendrick Lamar was picked for the halftime show, because he's not a very big name, right? Number one, but also because brain train. He doesn't have that same kind of vibe that most people are accustomed to for a halftime show. I mean, you remember Justin Timberlake pulling Janet Jackson's boob out. That was kind of an accidental thing. Janet Jackson got raked over the coals for it, even though Justin Timberlake's the one who grabbed her shirt and did it. But most of the time, you have these big productions at halftime. You have Maroon 5 when they performed is kind of big. You had Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think, one year did it. You had Usher, and then you have Rihanna. You have all these people who do these bigger productions, these showmanship, right? And so for Kendrick Lamar to come out, people were like, he's just a mumble rapper. He doesn't really say anything like that. And if you only watched the halftime show without understanding what Kendrick Lamar was actually doing and saying, you probably would have been bored or turned the channel or whatever else. If you step back and look at what Kendrick Lamar really did for the halftime show, it's got a lot of like hidden meaning to it. There was a lot of red, white, and blue. There was the American flag. There was a lot of pointing out the Illuminati, and there was a lot of pointing out Drake and the pedophiles of Hollywood. There was a lot of, I guess you'd have to be of that conspiracy mind or of that deeper meaning of things, and not have been watching it for entertainment. Because if you were watching it for entertainment, you were not going to be entertained. To me, it wasn't entertaining. There's nothing entertaining about it. I know most of his songs, whatever, because we have a 15-year-old who listens to newer stuff. But the show itself wasn't much, until you take into consideration everybody was fully dressed. There was no twerking. There was no breasts. There was no butt cheeks. There was no gyrating on the stage. There was no, J-Lo, Shakira stuff that a lot of people were pissed off about when they performed. So if you take things in if you step back and look at it from a perspective of what did the visuals show, what did the words say, stuff like that, this is one of the things that I saw. And I can't like show you the video or the music or anything like that, but there are a couple pictures, and I don't know if I saved this one. So this is one thing. So he's in these stands, right? And this is the American flag. And you can see it is divided and everybody is standing. There's another one when he gets down to the bottom of the bleachers. He goes back up and everybody comes together, but everybody is like bent over and holding on to each other. I looked at this as divided, and like the media. The media divides you and you feel like you're all by yourself. These people are standing alone. It's normally divided. How does it go? Together, no, together we conquer, divided we fall, something like that. I can't remember the phrasing. You guys know how it works over here. But when I saw this divided and they were standing tall, I looked at it as, it made me think of media, mainstream media dividing everybody left and right, and everybody in their own minds, not paying attention to what's going on, but living in their own world. And then Kendrick Lamar, he walks away and everybody comes together for the flag and they're all leaning on each other. And to me, that is when you get rid of the wokeness, you have the ability to unite the country again and basically rely upon each other. United we stand, divided we fall. Thank you. My brain was trying to get there. I appreciate you. United we stand, divided we fall. But here, it looks like the backwards. Divided we stand, but we stand against each other when we're divided by mainstream media. And once we're all united, it's not that we fell the way he showed it, but it was that we helped each other. We held on to each other. We came together. And I look at that as like not a sign, but a kind of like an FU to mainstream media, because he called out, I mean, he literally said, "Hey, Drake," and called him out for being a pedophile. He called out Hollywood and the things that they do. And I thought it was great, personally. I thought it was great. The message that's behind absolutely everything. Again, not the most invigorating halftime show, but very, very interesting when you step back and look at it from the standpoint of what was the message that was being given. So, and then he said at the end, turn your TV off, and then it said game over. And turn your TV off, meaning quit paying attention to mainstream media, because they are what are causing this divide. They are what are causing all of these issues. Turn your TV off. Don't give them the time of day or the satisfaction of getting into your brains and basically turning you into some sheep or whatever else. That's what I got from it personally. And so looking at it from that perspective versus from a entertainment perspective, it kind of changed it a little bit, but that was that. But anyway, I want you guys to see here, just because I think it's hilarious. Travis Kelce walked in to, what is he wearing? He looks like a 70s porn star. What is he wearing? I don't understand why men dress this way. And then when he left, why is his shirt so sparkly? Is he going to be in Saturday Night Fever? What are we redoing here? Is he going to an ice skating competition? Like, what is happening? I hated the outfit. Everything was awful. But this is Taylor Swift. And I can guarantee you that there was crying either in the locker room by him or by her afterwards. Because the last Super Bowls, they were jumping all over each other and everything was great because he was winning. He didn't win this time. He walked out of the locker room by himself. You didn't see her going down onto the field to greet him, to hug him, to kiss him, because it's not the look that they wanted, and it's not going to get them the spotlight and the attention that they both wanted. Absolutely, absolutely trash to me. Where is this here? Where is this? You have, what's her name? No, hold on. I'm trying to find this thing. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to find this in a second. I know it's here. This is a different angle of Donald Trump from the Super Bowl. You guys may not have seen. He's there with Ivanka. He was there with her. I don't think Melania and Barron were there, but that's them in their suite where they were, which again, I was worried about him going there and somebody trying something. Obviously, that didn't happen because everybody there seemed to love him. However, during the halftime show, I don't know if you guys saw that or heard about it, but there were the the pro-Palestinian protesters, one of them who made it onto the field with a pro-Palestinian flag and was running around the field during halftime. How? Really? How? You know how? Somebody had to have let that through. There's no way that they were able to bypass every single person there and climb down the stairs and get onto the field and run around. Nah, somebody let him on there, so they need to pay attention to that. Now, do you guys remember in July when there was the assassination attempt on Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania? And I said to you guys then, I'm going to find the live stream so I can bring it up and we can play it here later on. And I said to you then, I said Josh Shapiro. I said Josh Shapiro's name. And I said, there's no way he does not know what's going on in Butler, Pennsylvania, because he is, you know, the governor of Pennsylvania. He knows everything that's going on. And some new information has come out. So there has now been a federal whistleblower. I waited till today to talk to you guys about this because I wanted to make sure it was real and not just some bullshit that was floating around the internet. But there have been documents that have been uploaded and proven to be real documents. So now we're having this conversation. But federal whistleblower filed a criminal complaint on February 7th, 2025, just a couple days ago, alleging that Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's involvement in an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Remember, Josh Shapiro is the same one who signed his name to the missiles that were being sent to Zelensky before they got shipped out. I showed you video of him signing his name on missiles that were going to be used to kill men, women, and children. And he did it with a smile. The man is fucking sick. He also, I fully believe, was supposed to be the vice presidential nominee, which is why they accidentally, if you guys remember, I showed you this one too, accidentally released his acceptance of vice presidency nomination. They released the video like 2 or 3 days early showing that he was the vice presidential nominee and he was accepting it and he was so happy about it. It got very, very, very bad kickback from people. I don't know if it's his state or other people. It did not go over well. He realized it would hurt his political career if he was vice president to Kamala Harris. So then when Kamala Harris did actually reach out and go, hey, Josh Shapiro, you should be the VP, he was like, you should kick rocks. And that's how we got Tim Walz as the Democrat vice presidential nominee. And I told y'all that numerous times, that it was supposed to be Josh Shapiro, but he decided not to do it. Tim Walz got in there. And then Josh Shapiro, now they are saying, is the one who colluded to have the assassination attempt against Donald Trump. It says here, it alleges that Christopher Wray, the FBI guy, conspired with the Biden administration to hide the reports. The Butler County's DA's office is currently investigating these allegations. No arrest or official charges against Shapiro have been confirmed by official sources as of the latest update. However, they have, where's this thing? Butler County. This is on August 22nd, 2024. It says, this is from Butler County District Attorney. It says, I am in receipt of your private criminal complaint, which you have filed against Governor Joshua Shapiro for his alleged involvement in the attempted homicide of former President Donald J. Trump on July 13th, 2024 in Butler County, Pennsylvania. Please be advised there are multiple investigations currently being conducted by various government agencies. Due to these pending investigations, I am disapproving your private criminal complaint. Because there's other ones going on. How can you disapprove that one? It doesn't mean that it's not real, or does it mean that they don't need his because they have other people's? So I had questions, right? So kept looking, trying to see if anybody else had information on this. And sure enough, let me find it, because again, I save everything. I think I save everything, and then sometimes it goes missing. Also, blech, Jill Biden. Where is it? We'll play this in a second. We'll do that in a second. We'll talk about The View in a second because they're all effing morons. We'll talk about that one. Here it is. All right, here we go. A former Pennsylvania State Police officer is the one who submitted this. Submitted an official criminal complaint alleging that Governor Josh Shapiro was involved in the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. The complaint was submitted, like I said, on February 7th. She claims to have submitted a tip about this in July of 2024, but said that it was blocked by the Biden administration. If true, this will be one for the history books. And this is the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. This is the private criminal complaint that the district attorney said that they were going to disapprove of because they had so many other things that they were looking into. And it says here that on the defendant being Josh Shapiro, and let me see if I accuse the above named defendant who lives at the address set forth, and then they put his address on here. Defendants Joshua Shapiro and Christopher Paris, Michael Henry, Val Arkush, Larry Krasner, Francis Cardo are the names on here. And then it says, see attached affidavit. And it was filed on February 7th, 2025. And it says here, Hadassah Feinberg, that's the name of the person, affiant and federal whistleblower, hereby allege that the defendant, Josh Shapiro, in his personal, individual, and official capacity, facilitated, organized, and carried out his plan to assassinate President Donald J. Trump on July 13th, 2024. Defendant Shapiro was unsuccessful in completing his mission, but is responsible for organizing and facilitating it, injuring the current president, and causing the murder of Corey Comparator. I can never say that man's name, and I feel awful about it. Defendant Shapiro conspired and colluded with Pennsylvania officials, namely Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner Christopher Paris, to carry out the attempted assassination of President Donald J. Trump on July 13th, 2024. Defendant Shapiro commenced the facilitation and coordination of the attempted assassination by utilizing Pennsylvania State Trooper Commissioner Christopher Paris to conceal the crimes. And then it has a whole lot of other stuff here that I will put a link to this in the video when it's all said and done. But the fact of the matter is, when the assassination attempt happened, every single person in the world who was not a libtard loving whatever said, that shit's fishy. There is no way that they did not see that kid up on this roof. How did that kid get up on that roof? Why did the Secret Service not do what they were supposed to do? Why were the police on the ground not doing what they were supposed to do? How did they let him take the shots and then they just kill him? And then how did he get the gun? And all these questions that everybody had, and nobody has been able to answer any of it. Nothing. You find out that some FBI person, I believe it was an FBI person, had visited the kid who was supposedly the shooter numerous times. He was also in a BlackRock commercial. All kinds of weird stuff that never has added up. So now you have somebody alleging that Josh Shapiro had something to do with it, whether it was he orchestrated it or he heard of something and did nothing to stop it, because again, the whole setup was wrong and everybody knew it. Everything has looked wrong. Donald Trump has said that something was not right there. Numerous people have said something was not right there. So I'm curious to see if this goes any farther. When you have the district attorney there going, oh, I'm going to disapprove it, we're not going to take it into consideration. Why? Is it because they know that there's some validity to it, or because they already have enough against whether it's Shapiro or somebody else to go after them for maybe being the conspirer of the assassination attempt on Donald Trump? I just think that's interesting to share with you guys. I would also like to show or share that yesterday on February 9th, the White House deemed February 9th, 2025 as Gulf of America Day. And so I'm going to read you this little bitty thing because I think it's interesting. It says, today I am very honored to recognize February 9th, 2025 as the first ever Gulf of America Day. On January 20th, 2025, I signed Executive Order 14172, titled Restoring Names That Honor American Greatness. Among other actions, that executive order required the Secretary of the Interior, acting pursuant to 43 USC 364 through blah, 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 to take all appropriate actions to rename as the Gulf of America the U.S. continental shelf area bounded on the northeast, north, and northwest by the state of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida, and extending to the seaward boundary with Mexico and Cuba in the area formerly known as the Gulf of Mexico. Now, we don't need to read this whole thing, but I want to remind everybody, when Biden was in office, he signed an executive order that we could not drill or do anything in the Gulf of Mexico. Right? And I told you this when this happened on January 20th. We can't do anything in the Gulf of Mexico. Well, if the Gulf of Mexico doesn't exist anymore, we can do whatever the hell we want. So when Donald Trump comes in on January 20th and says, okay, I see what you've done there, but hold my Diet Coke and checkmate at the same time, and he says we're going to rename it to Gulf of America, Biden's executive order on nothing being done in Gulf of Mexico was completely null and void because that no longer existed. Now it's the Gulf of America and we can do whatever we want to it. So Donald Trump, once again, he does things for a reason. People may not understand it, but every single thing he does is for a reason. It is designed to make America great again at the end of the day. Every single thing he does is designed to make America great again at the end of the day, whether people want to see it that way or not. There's a picture of him yesterday. I think he took a picture with Brittany Griner, the one who had been like the basketball player, but was it Russia for having the THC pin or the whatever oil pin, or I don't remember where she was. I don't really care because it's Brittany Griner and I could give two shits. But there's a picture, I believe, of him standing with with Brittany Griner, and people are like, "Oh, Trump's about to get canceled." No, Trump is showing you on a daily basis exactly what he said. He's a president for all the people. He does not have to agree with you to be your president. He still wants to do what is best for you as a president, which is why he has signed into order that there can be no trans boys in girls sports and no trans girls in boys sports, because it's what's best for the kids to not have that mental confusion and that gender identity dysmorphia, whatever the crap it's called, in the school systems like that. Everything he does is for the people. Listen, you don't have to like the man, but you have to respect what he's doing for the country. That's how I feel about it. Whether you like him or not does not matter. When you sit there and you say to yourself, man, everything he is doing is literally helping our country, how can you dislike him after that? You cannot dislike somebody who is going out of their way to do everything they can to make your life better. You know what I mean? Like when they close the borders, you know what that's going to do? Make the lives better of people who have been robbed by, pillaged by, raped by, murdered by people who have come over the border illegally. What else is it going to do? It's going to keep our money in our pockets because we're not spending billions of dollars on people who aren't supposed to be here. When you go through and you cut the fat in USAID, what's that going to do? It's going to put more money in your pocket because you're no longer paying for transgender comic books in Peru and Sesame Street in Saudi Arabia and AIDS medication in South Africa, because those countries need to learn how to take care of their own fucking people so that we can take care of ours. At the end of the day, Donald Trump is a president for the people, and I'm extremely excited about the fact that we are only however many days in, and we still have like 1,440 something days left to go. Baby, it's gonna get so good. It's gonna get so good. I saw this one thing that I wanted to mention to you guys before I let you go, because I know it's getting dark or whatever else. This was on CNN. There's this phrase called "eat crow" that my husband mentioned this morning in his live stream when I was talking about Joy Reid and how if the paycheck was correct, she would flip sides immediately and kiss Donald Trump's ass all day long. And he goes, yeah, she'd eat crow on TV just to, you know, make that paycheck. This to me is CNN having to eat crow. That's the equivalent to that. When they have to put, and I know this is backwards, I'll read it to you. Trump's doing what he promised. In April 2017, he had a 46%, I guess, approval rating on doing the things that he had promised. February 2025, 70% approval rating. 70% approval rating. That's not just amongst Republicans, because this is CNN. This is amongst people in general. 70% approval rating. That tells you a lot. That's all I'm going to say. That tells you a lot. Even people who say that they don't like him are starting to change their minds and understand that he is doing a lot of things to make everything better for this country. The other thing I had that I wanted to show you before I let you guys go, or actually mention to you, where is it? Okay, so I don't really think I saved that part, but Elon Musk is talking about buying OpenAI. So Elon Musk already owns Grok, obviously it's part of X, but he also wants to buy OpenAI, and they're saying it's a $97 billion purchase that he would make, and he would basically have control over all AI. Now, is that good or is that bad? That's my question. Is that good or is that bad? And I guess it depends on how you view Elon Musk and how you view AI in general. But I think that it may be better for it to be under Elon, who I believe has proven he can be trusted in certain areas, right? Versus under somebody, who is it, Sam Brinkman? Is that right? I might be making up names right now because there's so many different names that go together that I can't remember who is who and what is what. We're just talking about the one who's in jail for stealing everybody's money. That's, I don't know. I like to make up names at this point. I don't remember who is what. But either way, if he goes through with this purchase and gets OpenAI for $97 billion, he's got Grok for whatever. If he goes through and then decides to buy up TikTok also, because that's still a thing, and he owns social media X, it's a lot. It's a lot. That's all I'm going to say is it's a lot. Now, there's a lot more we can talk about tomorrow. I did just want to kind of talk about the Super Bowl because it was a very interesting Super Bowl to me last night, how one team showed up to win, Jalen Hurts. And when Jalen Hurts, when the Eagles won, I want to just point out that the very first thing Jalen Hurts said was he praised God, and he said without him, he would not have been able to do what he did. Same thing for their coach, who I don't know their coach's name, said the exact same thing. The Chiefs did not show up to play at all. They looked like they were just sleepy and had no desire to be there whatsoever. But the Eagles, they showed up. They were like, listen, we're going to win this. And what's weird to me is that Philadelphia, they knew, I think that they had a very good chance of winning and decided to, not riot, but party really hard in the streets and knock down stoplights and things like this. Why is that what you do when you win? I'm curious about that. Why do you destroy your city out of happiness? Shouldn't you destroy your city out of like extreme anger and upset or whatever else? But if you're happy, why are you destroying your city? Like, that's where you live. That's your money that now has to go to fix all the shit you broke because you were like dumb happy. That makes no sense. New Orleans went through and they greased their poles. That sounds real sexual. Take that one back real quick. The light posts. Here we go. The light posts and any other post that may have been on the streets of New Orleans, they went through with Vaseline, which again, it's still giving this a whole different looking scenario. They went through with Vaseline and basically Vaselined up all these things so that people could not climb them to take down the lights or take the street signs or doing these other things. But they said that they were supposed to do it on February 28th anyway. Like, they do it every once in a while, I guess, to keep the poles looking shiny. I don't know, but they did it early because they didn't trust the Philly fans to not destroy their city. They weren't worried about the Chiefs fans. They were worried about the Phillies fans because in Philly, people are aggressive, I guess. I mean, when you have a mayor who can't spell, that might say enough. I don't know. But either way, I just wanted to let y'all know that. Here's them shooting off fireworks. They're calling it riots in the street. So that's the fireworks they're shooting off in Philly. Then you have, I don't know why they're making out. That's whatever. I've never made out with my husband because I like who won the Super Bowl. That's just weird to me. You have that. And then I don't know if this shows when they knock over the light, but no. Is that a Chiefs jersey that they set on fire somewhere? Somebody said something about that. But they knocked down a light post or something too. But anyway, that's going to be it for now because I refuse to turn my car on and it's hot in here now. You guys can see my upper lip is sweating. My face is red because we went to the beach today and I forgot sunscreen. Back to regular, burning the crap out of myself by accident, it seems. But now to go cook dinner and hang out with my kid and my husband. And I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your night. If you will, if you want to have good dreams tonight, just when you close your eyes, picture Taylor Swift on the verge of tears because people booed her and then her boyfriend lost and then no proposal because if he had won, I bet money he would have proposed on the field if he had won. But since he didn't, she's ringless and they might have to go redo their contract and she might have to break up with him because what good is he doing her now? Anyway, I will see you guys again tomorrow and we'll talk about like really important things as opposed to the Super Bowl. This was just a fun conversation for me. So I love you guys very much. Have a fabulous evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye. Adios.